Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Hollywood Mate Connelly with the double biceps. It is in the contract a legal requirement every single time we appear on camera, and we are appearing on camera right this minute. Dave Stockbridge is taking that night off. He is busy at the moment. He might jump in later, though. We'll wait and see. Hopefully, he does. Always a pleasure to have the man himself, Dave Stockbridge, on at the show, and I get to do my incredibly long introduction for him. Which I don't know how there's a story behind that really, but when we started doing our podcast stuff, Dave was doing the intros when we would have a guest, and he would record an intro afterwards, and we did that maybe 5 or 6 times. And then he said, "Well, do you want to do the intro for the next video?" And I was like, "Yeah, cool, no worries." And so I think I did the introduction for the guest. Like, we recorded this after we'd done the actual episode, which sort of helps because you have a framework as to who the guest is, and maybe you're going to work some of that into the intro. And then I think I was calling him Dave Stockbridge the real estate mogul at the start, and then it just sort of progressed, and I just kept adding to that and kept putting more and more nicknames and more ridiculous funny stuff on top of it. And then obviously a big fan of the Rocky series, the Sylvester Stallone Rocky series. And there's a moment in there where Apollo Creed is being introduced in Rocky 4. And he has a really long list of nicknames. And Rocky said, "Geez, you got enough nicknames?" He's like, "Oh, settle down, Stallion. We're almost done." And so I just took those nicknames and sort of memorized them and added them in. So the Master of Disaster, the King of Sting, the Count of Monte Cristo, they were all from Apollo Creed from Rocky 4. And then the Siberian Bull, that is also from Rocky 4, but that is Ivan Drago's nickname. Thunderlips, the ultimate male, that is from Rocky 3. That is Hulk Hogan's introduction. So we've had some a lot of fun doing the intro, and I love just finding a new nickname and then just adding to that and putting it in, and so the intro just keeps getting longer and longer. So yes, it is always fun for me to do that. French McGee has won the first comment of the night competition with evening. Hello to you, French. Hope you are well. Hope you are recovered. I know Ryan is very much looking forward to having a match with you, but it might be postponed a little bit. Well, we'll wait and see. Hopefully that comes up sooner rather than later. Always good to see you in here. Did a tremendous job singing the national anthem for us at the AWE 3 Grand Prix prior to the event starting, which I don't know if Fran had asked us if we wanted that, or if Dave had asked. But either way, it was a very nice moment, and it was better than I thought it was going to be in terms of, because I know there's so many times when you go to a sporting event and they're like, "Oh, please stand for the national anthem," and you're like, "Ugh," and then you got to sort of stand there for whatever it is, 2 or 3 minutes for them to go through the thing. You're like, I just want to see the sport. But it was a very, very good performance, and it was entertaining. And at no point did I feel like, oh, we should just get on to the next thing. It felt very entertaining, and I know everyone in the room was highly entertained as well. So yeah, Lagier is also here. He says that is very worth of the comment. Thank you for saying something and letting me know that you are here, you are watching. Always great to see you in the chat. You are one of the regulars, which is amazing to have regular people watching the show, watching the stream. So arm wrestling tonight. We try to get on 5 nights a week. It just depends on my work schedule and Dave's work schedule. So Monday to Friday, usually around this time, is when we will be on air. But yes, it just depends, because I've been doing a lot of the afternoon shift lately, which cuts straight across this time, which means that I can't do it. Well, I could do it when I get home, but I don't get home till 10 p.m. and Dave is not available at that time. So there we go. French says, "Thank you so much. Dave had asked me to sing at the first one, but I was away." Yes, you were. "I offered to sing at this one." Well, thank you very much. Yes, the first event, it was AWE 3, AWE Grand Prix 2, I believe. And originally the date that we had, I think you were available for, but then there was some issue with the venue or something. We had to change the date to the next weekend. And unfortunately, that was the weekend that I believe you were in Melbourne, so it didn't pan out. Yeah, unfortunately, I think you were even looking at having a match with Nat Coots, who lives in Melbourne, but Nat Coots was over here in Adelaide at our event. So the one time you go there, she comes here, which just was unfortunate timing. Lagia says, always cool when I can catch a stream. I'm currently at work on break. It is 12:30. Wow. Where are you, Lagia? You're in Europe somewhere, I believe. 12:30. Yeah, that's got to be Europe somewhere. I think the United States, it is fairly early in the morning, like maybe very early, 5 a.m., something like that. Currently, we try to hit a time where we can get the majority of the audience there, but it is very difficult. And then you've got to work around schedules of your own work, your own life, as well as Dave, as well as the guests. So it can be quite tricky. The Drew has made it in here. Hello to the Drew with the sunglasses emoji. Is that because you are wearing sunglasses at all times, Drew? Is it like a Bono kind of thing? Who else is there? There's Bono that wears them, and then there's the guy from Bloodsport, Frank Dukes. Frank Dukes always wears sunglasses, although he does say that it is because of the light affects. I don't know. He's a very strange man. Hey, Drew says French. And there we go. It was Europe. That was correct. He is in Germany. There we go. What is the arm wrestling scene like in Germany? And are you an arm wrestler yourself, Lagia? I'd love to hear. Siren Lagia. It's 3:23 in Vegas. There we go. So yes, we try to hit the audience as much as we can, but it can be very difficult to satisfy everybody. It's just very difficult. Ignore that clone, says the Drew. There are 23 other Drews out there. They are the ones that are watching all the other current arm wrestling streams. If there are any going on, the Drews clones will be there in the chat. We've got the Drew 24 at the moment, so that is the story for today. Dave Stockbridge is just sending me a message. I'm just going to quickly write back and say, jump in if you want, jump in if you like. And there we go. All right. So, yes, last night we went through a little bit of the tournament footage. I might bring up that again. I think that we had an issue with the sound where you guys couldn't hear what I was playing. The reason for that. Yesterday I was trying to explain that we were having major issues with the video wasn't working for ages. I finally got that working. I had to use 6 different browsers. I ended up with Brave browser before it would actually work. And then I got that side of it working. And then we had an audio issue, which just, anyway. So, yes, when I was showing the footage last night, I was screen sharing the other window. I didn't realize the audio wasn't playing, but that's okay. As long as you guys got to see what I was talking about, then that is a lot better than having audio and no visual. All right, what are we doing here? We got French McGee says, why are you awake, Drew? That is insane. I believe the Drew does some delivery work, and that takes him into the late hours of the night. And he says, my time is the only time. My time is the only one that matters, says the Drew. The Drew always being awake at all times of the day or night. He does have 23 other clones out there. So, like it says, to be honest, I have no idea how big the sport is in Germany. I'm not an arm wrestler myself yet, just an obsessed fan. Well, there you go. Well, you will have to get you onto a table at some point, because if you are a big fan, you as soon as you put your elbow down on that table and have one session, you'll be hooked forever. I'm not sure of the German arm wrestling scene either, but who is the guy, the bodybuilder guy? Leonidas. I believe he's from Germany. So there must be some level of German arm wrestling going on out there, because he is an absolute phenom, meeting John Brzenk, and although he didn't have anything for Devin Larratt, but I mean, who does? I loved the fact that in that match, if you guys haven't seen Leonidas versus Devin Larratt, Devon was too strong for Leonidas. He was just way too strong. But the impressive thing for me was that Leonidas, at no point did he quit or did he stop trying to win. And I think that was absolutely tremendous. Regardless of that, Devon was talking trash to him in German the entire match, which was quite an interesting thing to take place. But Leonidas, to his credit, didn't buy into it at all. He just kept trying to win, and yes, obviously, Devon Larratt, number 2 in the world and unbelievable arm wrestler. So credit to Leonidas for that, and Devon for making it funny. The Drew couldn't sleep. Well, 3:30 in the morning, Drew. Jeez, you're going to be tired tomorrow. The Drew says arm havoc. I don't know what that's in reference to. Is that a club in Germany? Maybe, I don't know. Dominic Lawrence is in here. Hello to you, Dominic. Dominic is actually featured in some of the AWE videos in the background, which was a lot of fun. We did one of the events, was it AWE Grand Prix 1, I believe. It was up, no, maybe it was the underground matches. I think it was the underground matches we had up in Marcus Aturi's shed. And we really wanted to have that you're in the room, you're standing in the room feel to it. And I think that it really sort of came off successfully. We didn't have commentary over it. We just kept it very like you would be standing there watching the guys compete. And so the people who were in the room, because it's a shed, they were very close to the action. And one of those people was, why am I going gray? This is what happened last night. Look at that. I'm still going more and more gray. I'm dying. Oh, it's coming back now. There we go. Camera is still playing up a little bit. Now I'm pink. Is pink better than gray? I don't know. Just go normal. That would be nice. Anyway, yes, Dominic Lawrence in the background of the videos. Great to see, and wonderful guy. Dom says Drew, and Drew says Dom. So there we go. We've covered all the bases there. Let me see if I can find that, actually, because I'm kind of forgetting whether it was the tournament or whether, and I think it was the AWE Grand Prix 1, which was in Marcus Aturi's shed. I just want to bring that up for everybody's enjoyment, mainly for my own curiosity to make sure that I was correct in what I said. It was the tournament, the Grand Prix tournament. We'll bring that up here so that you can see what I'm talking about. Share the screen. We'll share the 8-man tournament. There we go. And it's on the screen now. So that's it. Dominic Lawrence right there on the right-hand side of screen in the AWE shirt, standing next to the guy in the grey top. Great to see Dominic supporting the AWE, and he was great at that event as well. So there we go. And this was a tremendous match here with Andy Boskowski and Mataringi Antamoris. So yeah, lots of upsets that took place in our Grand Prix tournaments, which is so incredible to see. And we did see several upsets in the most recent event, which was right here on the AWE Underground YouTube channel. You can see it's right here. There's all of our videos right here. We've got the heavyweight champion match between Rickard Bornman and Brett Coots, an absolutely incredible match. And if you haven't seen it, 182, then check it out. It is a fantastic match. And right here we had some incredible battles that took place through the AWE 3 Grand Prix. Yay, audio, says the Drew. Yeah, normally I will mute the audio because for some reason it just, you get hit with a copyright strike very, very quickly. But when it's your own content, it's not an issue. I'm not going to be putting a copyright strike against myself. So yeah, Ruben Jennings, well, great to see him again. I haven't seen him for a couple of years, and a very good high hand top roller, very tall. As you can see there, 193 centimeters, which I believe in the other measurement is 6'5", I think. So great to see him back on the table and competing. A wonderful guy as well. And Jacob Tuxworth there doing tremendous work. This man always improves every single time that you see him. So he is doing amazing things. Right here, we'll skip through to the actual start of the match, if you like. We did have a look at one of the upsets last night, which was Nick Vella and Josh Barker. Again, please check this out on the YouTube channel. If I'm spoiling anything, if you haven't seen anything, go and check it out there, because it is right there. And even if you have seen it before, play it again, because it does help us with watch hours and everything like that. If you want to do anything to support the AWE, even if you just load a bunch of our videos in the background, put them on mute, just let them play through, that does help us enormously. So right here, we'll get to the actual match. We're getting the setup. So there we go. And it was a very quick pin for Jacob Tuxworth. He was able to turn it inside and roll through in a hook position. Ruben wanting that top roll. We'll see, because it did take place very quickly there. Might just flip through that again. So we've got Ruben with his arm is kind of blocking the setup a little bit there, but right there. So you can see he did throw for the top roll. Jacob probably very aware that he was going to be doing that. You can see the framing of his body there. His shoulders are angled in a way where it's more defensive off the very start, so that he could catch that position and push forwards. You can see the way that his shoulders are facing in a, they're not towards the opponent. They're like a 45-degree angle to the opponent's left, so that he could turn into that hook position. And that is exactly what he did there. He was able to control the hand and wrist of Ruben Jennings. As soon as he got dominance right there, he's just going to roll straight through. Bang, there it is. So we'll see that one more time, just for the I like to explain it to people, because sometimes people watch arm wrestling and they're not sure why somebody won, or what somebody was doing, or what the tactics involved were. So right here, this is a very good example of somebody who is a very good high hand top roller. And Jacob Tuxworth, he's actually, I would say, more known for his own top roll, but he knew that Ruben Jennings had a height advantage on him and was more than likely a better top roller than he was. So he's like, I'm not going to go and play a top roll game with you, Ruben. I'm going to cut you off, bring your height from in a vertical position down to a horizontal position as much as I can, to eliminate your leverage position. And this is all in seconds here. So let's see that again. So right there, you see that's the position that he knows at that point he has the dominant position. Ruben's hand is turned underneath, which means that now when Jacob applies pressure, it's going to go onto Ruben's bicep as opposed to the bones in his forearm. So Jacob very effectively, in just that movement there, that supination movement, was able to get a position where he can just roll straight through and get the pin. See the comments here. Matt, make it a dark theme. Top right, click your profile pic on right. Then appearance, not unless you like the bright light theme. Yeah, it's just issues with the camera, mate. I'm still working with it. That's okay. We'll get there. It's not a problem for me right now. I'm just happy it's bloody working. Before it was, yeah. So until I get things sorted with that, I'm just gonna leave it, and yeah, over the weekend I'll fix all the settings. But as long as you can see me and hear me, that's all that matters right now. So you can see here Jacob Tuxworth moving on in this was the opening round, I believe. So he was able to get through Ruben Jennings there. We'll continue on with this, because there were some incredible matches. This moment here actually was one of the highlights for me, watching as a fan and as a supporter. And I know SK is a tremendous arm wrestler. You can see his back facing the camera to us right there. He is an arm wrestler from Queensland. I believe he's originally from South Korea, and he has a skill set where he has an ability to pull in any of the three techniques very, very effectively. I believe most of the time his go-to is a bit more of the inside. I think the wins that I've seen him have is more of the hook style, but he does a tremendous job regardless of the positioning. So Marty Penfold here, who is the opponent, he is still a relatively new coming to the sport of arm wrestling, just over 1 year in the sport of arm wrestling, and very strong young man. He is developing his inside game, which probably really worked well for him because SK also going into that position as well, but probably wasn't expecting the power that Marty had. Marty, this is the elimination side of the bracket, so whoever loses this match is going home. And so Marty had Taryn Broad, the number 1 seed in the very first round, which was a very tall ask, and obviously Taryn won that very comfortably, but to have this moment take place here, I'm just going to play it so that you can see what's happened. To his advantage against the South Korean. Right, here we go. He's going to go inside, but I believe SK looks very comfortable. He looks like he's going to go high with the top roll.
Don't move.
And Marty's going to be going into. He gets the inside position. They're in a hook. In the middle, Marty's in a really good position here. SK working hard. He's been pulled out of his shoulder. Marty dropping with his body weight. He's going to get it. He's got the pin. Wow, what a win for Marty Penfold, the number 8 seed.
Making his way through.
So I'm still excited watching that now. Marty, he said no when I asked him to compete with us on the tournament. Citing the reasons of, I don't think I'm at the level where I would be competitive, and I don't think that there's any point in me competing in the tournament and just getting 0-2'd. So I'm glad that you decided against that decision, Marty, and you've proved yourself right here in this match, getting a win over a very, very good arm wrestler in SK. And what a great hook battle, as Lagia says there. And let's watch it one more time. I'll go through a little bit of the analysis of the positioning here. So we're about to get the start. Now, Marty really only hooks. He's still learning the top roll press, as in, he knows how to do them, but to be effective at them, the hook, let's say his hook is a 10 for him, top roll might be a 5, and press might be a 6. So he's always going to be hooking here. But the good thing for him is that SK was also happy to go inside. So let's have a look at the start. So on the start, both happy to turn inside. SK bringing his shoulder forwards. He's very close to his hand, which is a very advantageous position and a very smart thing to do if you are looking to be better at arm wrestling. Keeping your shoulder as close to your hand as you can is always going to be beneficial, because it is gives you access to your body weight and your frame to be able to use that, as opposed to just using your arm. So right here, it's sort of an even position. They've sort of established themselves into a hook. Now it's going to be who's going to surge and who's going to be able to contain. So right here, it's both added pressure. You can see that the intensity is, they're both shaking with intensity here. Marty's starting to get control a little more. He deepens his cup. He really flexes deep on that. And you can see he's sort of pulled SK a little bit past the center line, the pin pole there, representing the center of the table. So right there, he's sort of just changed angle just on that last little moment there. I just wanted to grab that. If I can get that again, so we can see if I can get this for you, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, here it comes. So he's going to surge here. There it is. So this surge right there, you see how he has pulled SK further out onto Marty's side, although the fact that his shoulder is so close to his hand allows him to be able to catch that effectively, but he is a little bit turned up, so his hand is a little bit like this. He'd like it a little bit more like that, but right now he's in still a good, decent position with the hook. They're in a hook. So Marty's come back up with his body for another surge. In the middle, Marty's in a really good there it is. Position here, SK working hard. So SK, you can see his hand position is underneath, and what I mean by that is his palm is facing upwards, like it's facing towards the roof. Ideally, you want it to be more pronated. If you're in this position, it really sort of puts the emphasis on muscles as opposed to bones and the conditioned ligaments and tendons that you can really just sort of talk through with. When you're using muscle, it gets tired very quickly.
He's been pulled out.
So right there, SK trying to surge, but he went, but his hand stayed behind. He did come back with his shoulder into position. Marty holding strong, and you can see here, I don't think he's in a position where he's like, I'm going to come back up and surge again. I think he felt something at that moment when SK surged, that he's like, I've got control here. I'm not going to come back up and risk losing my position. I'm just going to hold this position and continue to drag.
His shoulder, Marty dropping with his body weight. He's going to
And that's exactly what he did. And look at the celebration there for Marty Penfold.
Wow, what a win for Marty Penfold, the number 8 seed.
Making his way through. There's a couple of upsets in these early rounds of the event, and fantastic.
There we go. What an amazing win for Marty Penfold. So him stepping up. It wasn't last minute, but the funny thing to me was that he did believe that he wasn't going to be of the caliber or the level that would be competitive to compete in this tournament. And there he is beating SK, one of the top arm wrestlers in the under 85 kilo division in Australia. So what an incredible win for Marty Penfold there. And we did see Josh Barker, who's on screen at the moment. He had an upset loss against Nick Vella in the opening round. And from that point on, you can see the seriousness on Josh's face here. He's coming in the elimination bracket. I believe in Josh's mind, he thought he was going to win this tournament. And he had trained very hard for it. He'd put on 8 kilos for it. He'd peaked. He was ready to go. And then he's lost his opening match. So you see the facial expression change here. It is all business. There is no smiles from Josh Barker at this point. Let's have a look at his setup here. So he's going against Ruben Jennings. As we saw before, Ruben Jennings, a very good high hand top roller. Look at the Josh there. He's very serious, collected thoughts. Normally he's all smiles, but right now he is all business. He does not want to come to this tournament that he has trained so hard for and go 0-2. And yes, losing to Nick Vella in the opening round. And let's have a look at this one here. I'll just go through this one. We'll finish up with the comments here, and you guys can watch the rest of the event over at the AWE channel if you like. But we'll watch this match here take place. So Josh Barker, just before I start this one, Josh is known for a lightning fast press, and he is insanely strong at that position. So it wouldn't surprise me to see the press come out here.
Yep. Josh very comfortable. He's going to be pressing. You can see the tongue has come out.
Go.
But when I was completely wrong, and what Josh did several times throughout this tournament was that he busted out a top roll, which I didn't even know he could do.
Oh no, he's gone for the top roll.
And although this ends up in a slip, he almost gets pinned there. He should have let go. This is a dangerous thing. When you sort of release pressure, you're like, yeah, it's going to slip. Yeah. And you're like, oh, God, I'm almost getting pinned. So if somebody catches your fingers, they can pin your finger and still win. It's like, so we'll get the strap applied, and I'll skip through to where the match starts for everybody. So the surprising thing for me was that Josh Barker brought out that top roll several times in this tournament, which I think he did as a sort of a surprise move, because I believe everyone knew that he was going to be pressing, and they may have game planned very hard against his setup for his press. And he may have thought, well, look, you want to set up for a defense against my press? Go ahead. That just means that I can top roll straight through your fingers. And so maybe that was the idea that Josh had there. But so we're going to go back in, and there you go. Have a look at that. Did you see it? That was a blink and you miss it win. That's how fast Josh Barker's press is. Let's rewind. Let's one click back on the keyboard to see. Have a look how fast this goes. From go to pin.
Go. There it is.
Go pin.
There we go.
Incredible. Josh Barker's press, absolutely like lightning.
That's what he was looking for. That's what all of his opponents were in fear of.
See how he drags his elbow across the pad as well as he does that. Let's see if we can see that here. There you go. So he's a better angle
a little bit closer
of it back here.
A little bit closer now.
This is the match again. But have a look at Josh's elbow, the way he adds momentum to his press. I think right at the end it might have come off after the pin has taken place. But Yeah, so that's one of those things that he does a little bit differently to others that I've seen. A lot of people, when they press, it's just that turn, and it's the momentum they generate from their twist of their body and their framework. But Josh adds a slide and presses forwards with his press. So that's a key element. If you are a presser, see if you can add that into your game, because it will add an extra dynamic ability to add momentum to your press. And maybe that's one of the key little secrets of why Josh Barker is so good at his press there. So we're just hitting the 30-minute mark here now, and so we might wrap things up. But if you are keen on seeing the rest of the tournament, please go and check it out on the AWE Underground YouTube channel. It's all there. It's all available for free. David Jansen is here. He's jumped in and says, "Hey Matt, hello to you. Great to see you on the show." And he was finally able to catch one of my lives. You've just jumped in just as the end here, mate, but always good to see you in here. Well, actually, if this is the first time, it is great to see you in here, and it is lovely to see you again. We did a podcast together this week. I can't remember. It's been busy, which I think you'll have up on your channel at some point. I haven't looked yet to see if it is there, but yes, David Jansen, one of the guys pushing arm wrestling up in Canada, which is always fantastic to see that people are creating content around this sport, and that's what we love to see, and appreciate your work and your efforts there, David, as well as all the other people that have jumped in the chat tonight. Dominic Lawrence, always great to see you. Lagia, great to see you too. The Drew, of course, the number 24 Drew. That's a pleasure and a privilege to see the number 24. 24 is my favorite. You are the favorite of the Drews that are out there. Who have we got here that I've missed? I'll make sure I say hello to everybody that has jumped in and said something. I know Franch McGee was at the top there. Yes, there she is. Hello to Franch McGee, and thank you again for jumping in. Did I miss anybody in the comments? I think I've got everyone there. I've got one right at the bottom which just popped up, and it is David Jansen. He says, well, I did a podcast with you, but I've never been able to catch one of your lives. They're always too early, or I'm at work. Yes, that is one of the issues of living on the complete other side of the world, at the very bottom of the world, here in South Australia. So if you think you've got a globe and you look at the bottom, there we are at the bottom. You got Antarctica, and you go a little bit around, and there we are. Oh, Giddy Up Gang says, Phil Woody, he has jumped in right at the end here. I'm just wrapping things up, but always good to see you, Phil. Thank you for jumping in. Phil Woody doing tremendous things for the sport of arm wrestling over in the UK. And the Drew has put up David Jansen's YouTube channel. And thank you again for doing that, Drew. You always do tremendous things, and that is one of them right there. Late to the party as always. That's okay, Phil. You can always watch it on repeat if you do want to watch it, but great to see you in here. Yeah, I posted the arm hub. Oh, okay, great. Yeah, thank you. I see what you mean now. Appreciate that. Matt, can we still purchase AWE t-shirts? You can, absolutely. They are on the awearmwrestling.com website, and you can order them there. I think they're $30, $40, something like that. But yeah, that is the simplest answer. Yes, you can, and that's where you get them. And I did see your email pop up. I haven't read it yet, Drew, but I will check it out. All right. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in, and we'll finish up with a nice little double biceps for you just to finish it off. Oh, no. Gotta love the split part that comes through. That is my favorite part of my own bicep. All right. Well, thank you, everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, we are finishing up. I'm distracting you while I'm leaning over to try to see my screen, but there we go. I have done misdirection. All right. Thanks, guys.